many people in America fear their government, and the government is being run by too many powerful agencies like the IRS and others. I think it's time the people take the country back through their representative government.
Hey, Mr. Politician, living on that hill, living in that lap of luxury on we the people's bill. Don't have a clue how the other half lives, and that is a shame. It's time to stop the tyranny. You keep pushing through your bills. Going for a revolution, going for it now. It's time to save our Constitution while we still got the guns in our hands.
Hi, welcome to Freedom TV. I'm Renee Kimball, your host, and this is going to be our last show for a while. We're going to be closing the doors and doing a few other things for a while, but we hope that you will join us throughout this show because I think you're going to find it fascinating. We've got a bunch of special stuff lined up for you, some really unusual things, and we're going to be talking about eco floors, how you can have flooring and save your conscience too at the same time and make everybody happy. But it's really good stuff, really interesting, and it's a very exciting way of seeing how things that were normally thrown away in the past can be reused again and turned into very highly marketable and valuable products. So we're going to be doing that a little bit later. First, we're going to go to Sovereign Soapbox, which is my time to have my say about something in general. And the first thing I'd like to talk about very quickly is the budget. That's our next screen, and the budget, you keep hearing over and over, oh, we don't have as much money, the budget has been cut, oh, we're not having as much money. Well, this is the truth. Take a look at it, folks. It has gone up every single year, and in the last few years, it's gone up incredibly. So the next time somebody tells you, oh, we aren't getting as much money as we used to, you can tell them that that's just so much meadow muffins, because in actuality, it has gone up. So instead of Sovereign Soapbox this time, and our next screen, we're going to have something very special for you. Jim Thompson, who does all of our lighting and switching and just about everything else that you can possibly think of on the show, has put together a little short video of how this show all comes together. If you think it's easy and it's simple, guess again, because it's not. And this is going to give you a real cute idea about how difficult and time-consuming it is to put something like this together. So without further ado, let's go to how to assemble an award-winning, not yet, but maybe, live TV talk show, a step-by-step process. Thank you. Get a studio. Duh. And we're back. I hope you got a good idea of how intricate and time-consuming and professional it takes to be able to put on a show like this. And I have one of the best crews at Portland Community Media, in fact, on the planet. But I'm prejudiced, but I still think they're really good. They put on a show every single week for 2 years, and we've done a great job, and they have been very professional and done incredible work and produced a program that not only we're proud of, but everybody's proud of. I've heard a lot from a lot of people. So we're here for our last show, and we have as our last show one of my favorite things, flooring, yay! And we're here with Sam Snow and Darius Shoemaker. No, other way around. Darius Shoemaker and Sam Snow. There we go. Yep. And we're going to be talking about your business, which is Echo Floors. Now, first of all, why flooring? I mean, what? When I grow up, what do you want to be? I want to be in flooring. It's not something anybody thinks about. Why did you choose that particular area?
One, it was kind of chosen for me. It was a family trade growing up.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So that's kind of how I got fallen into the flooring trade.
Came into the genes. And Sam, how did you get involved in this?
I was raised in the kind of construction business. My brother and father were spec home builders, and I worked when I was going to college. I started installing floors as Darius's helper many, many years ago, and really enjoyed it. Yeah. And then once I got out of school, I worked for some other people, and it just wasn't my cup of tea, I guess. And so we decided to partner back up, and Eco Floors started about 3 years ago. About
3 years ago. So you guys have been in business 3 years.
Yep.
Now, why Eco Floors and why not just the general run-of-the-mill flooring? I mean, bigger choices.
A lot of reasons there, but
yeah, we wanted to. We had to come up with a business name and kind of our advantage and what we wanted to do. And we both came from a small town where, on the coast, where environmentalism was important to people, and being sustainable in a sense in the small town. It's not like the big city. So we kind of incorporated that into our business and said, let's do products that are good for the environment, improve indoor air qualities by not bringing chemicals into people's houses, and kind of just lined up with our own personal values.
Right. Excellent. So then that, voila, birthed is Echo Floors.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we've got some samples out here, and we're going to be talking about those later. But we do have some pictures I want to show people about some of the things and the applications and the way that some of the stuff that you have works out. So if we can bring those up, we'll talk about those a little bit, and then we'll get back to talking about the business itself. And this is the showroom. That's pretty splashy. I mean, you got a lot of stuff in there.
We do. It's a small space. We do have a lot of different options in there.
Yeah.
Mainly we kind of specialize in cork natural products, so cork and linoleum, bamboo, and wool carpets.
Right.
So that's most of our showroom is going to contain all those different products.
So there's hundreds of other things that you could do, but you chose those more organic sort of products.
Exactly.
And this is some of the wood. Now.
Yeah, this is bamboo here.
This is bamboo.
This is actually a friend of ours' house that we did about 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, I mean
before
bamboo.
The business.
You just don't think of bamboo as being kind of a flooring material.
Yep.
Now this is the linoleum stuff?
That is linoleum.
And this is kind of a new design idea in linoleum, isn't it? Where you do two different colors and kind of put them together.
A lot of different things with the linoleum products. Very versatile material. This one was one where the customer didn't want a seam down the middle, so we came up with the idea of doing kind of a design out of it and breaking it up.
Why did the customer choose two different things? Did they just want two different colors, or?
Kind of to break up that so they didn't see an actual seam, just to accent it.
Right.
And,
okay.
And then we put that serpentine S in there, and that was just custom did. That's not doesn't come from the factory, nothing like that. The sky's the limit, pretty much, with patterns and inlays and designs with linoleum.
Linoleum's kind of a neat product. Now this looks like it stepped out of 1921. It's my era. No, but you can do the classical.
Correct.
You want the squares, you got the squares.
Yeah, and this is the marmoleum too, and it's also this is in a click lock fashion instead of a full spread application. These are individual tiles.
Oh.
So they are marmoleum, but in a click lock form, not as in sheet as we saw in the previous photo.
Right. Oh, that's an interesting idea. And this is
That's another bamboo floor
Bamboo
there.
flooring.
And that's the new
amazed.
strand woven products where the bamboo is pressed into beams and then they cut the flooring out of it. And it really makes the product a lot harder, about 2 times as hard as regular bamboo.
really bamboo's pretty hard to
So-
begin with, so I can imagine
Yeah.
making it. And this is the look as it's going in. Now, what's the black stuff underneath?
That's a moisture barrier.
Oh, okay.
It's required by the manufacturer for that type of application. That's a cork floor going
Oh, okay.
over a hydronic heated concrete slab.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, boy, that'd be a comfy floor to be walking on.
Exactly.
It should be
Nice
very
and warm.
very warm and soft. Yeah.
It's interesting that they decided to have cork, and here it is all completed.
That's
This is
the finished.
completely the organic room.
Yellow
There's-
bungalow.
You know, it's
That's actually, it's a garden retreat that was designed to exactly mimic the 1920 era home.
oh,
So
really?
yeah, it
Excellent.
turned out very neat.
Yeah, what a neat looking space. And here we have some more. I think this is
This is cork also.
cork. Oh, amazing things you can do with cork.
Yeah, it works well in all applications, all rooms.
Now
That's a fun one. That's RB Rubber, which is a local company here in Wilsonville, or McMinnville actually, but they recycle about 4 million tires a year out of
Oh,
Oregon.
really?
Yeah, and then make them into really neat products. This is going into an appliance business.
Oh, amazing.
It's extremely durable, and then it's great for heavy objects, weight
Yeah.
rooms, or appliances to sit
And
on top of.
Is it really good for things like walking on and things like that?
It's
Sure.
really soft.
Really?
Yeah.
Anti-fatigue
Kind of
mat, if you will.
anti-fatigue.
Now this is the tear out
Under
and
construction
rebuild,
here.
and this is what they, chipping out the old flooring looks like, and then we have what it looks like afterwards. My, what a difference!
Big transformation the
Yeah.
floor makes.
Yeah. Now is this marmoleum also? The linoleum also?
Correct. Yep.
Excellent. I love linoleum. It's just one of my favorite things. And these are ones I pulled from your website. And this is cork, but it's like in tiles. I've never seen cork
Exactly.
done like that.
Yeah, those are glued down cork
Loop
tiles
down cork tiles.
from Natural Cork, a company that we distribute.
Okay, and then this is marmoleum, which is a trade name, but it's really linoleum.
Correct.
And this is basically the same linoleum from like the 1910s and 1920s. It's the same stuff, isn't it?
It is. It was
Basically?
Yep.
Without the asbestos now.
Without the big, yeah, well, hey. Why? The asbestos is good for you. And wood, of course. And then we have carpets. And on the next slide, we've got a whole bunch of different kinds of carpets. And if you can give us a kind of an idea of what the different, I don't know whether you can see those or not, there's some pretty flashy looking carpets up there. A woven carpet, that they actually weave the wool together.
We carry hand woven wool carpets.
Hand woven?
Hand done.
Oh my
which
gosh.
is kind of a lost art trade these
Yeah,
days.
I can imagine. Well, that's a pretty good overview, and we'll have some stuff here in real time that we can look at in a bit. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what are some of the things that what are your customers, why do they come to you as opposed to another flooring who probably has, 50,000 million different styles of stuff? I mean, it's hard enough to choose from what you've got, but why would they come to you?
One of our big advantages, I guess, is that we're a installer-owned shop. So
okay.
it's a trade that Darius has been doing his whole life. He's a very talented installer.
Right, excellent.
So we do all of our own work, where a lot of other stores, they use subcontractors, and you kind of get lost in the mix. So we're
Right.
you come in, it's a very specialized experience.
Right.
And then a lot of people are also seeking these more natural products. They don't want to bring products with formaldehyde and off-gassing adhesives into
Right.
their house, and that's
Yeah.
kind of where we specialize. So
Right.
if they know about us, they usually come
Yeah.
in to get their floors from us.
Yay!
Yeah.
floors that are local, which is really kind of cool because it's neat having a local business that services a local area and can provide these kinds of floors for people. Now, what's the difference between like a residential situation and like a commercial situation? Would you use different flooring for those different applications?
Certainly, there are different applications for different styles. That being said, marmoleum used to be, say, 15 years ago, was pretty much predominantly in commercial. It's used in
Really?
most all hospitals, healthcare, schools. It wears very well. So a lot of it kind of intermixes, but there are definitely specific commercial applications of flooring and then residential. But
Right.
you can intermix it. I mean,
Right.
depend on the look you're going
Yeah.
for.
And of course, if at the higher end, folks would want a look as opposed to a functional durability. I can't imagine putting wood floors in some place like in an appliance center. You know,
Right. It's going to get drug and scratched up. Yes.
Yeah, it kind of gets scratched up and messed up. Now, the some of the materials that you're using, are they? What percentage of them are local, and what percentage of them have to come in from overseas?
That's we try to use as much local building materials. Of course, we do a lot of raw lumber and base trim and underlayments, things that we get local. The RB Rubber is a local company. Unfortunately, Oregon does not manufacture a lot of flooring products.
Yeah.
So a lot of them we get from local distributors that carry a lot of the marmoleum. We carry a lot of wools from California, Northern California.
Oh, really? So the wool actually comes in from. So the rugs are actually manufactured
In California.
in California. Well, that's
yeah.
not very far.
No, which is
That's excellent.
Which is neat to even be able to get products on the West Coast, because so much stuff nowadays you hear about it being wood shipped in from China
Yeah.
and Russia and all these places,
Yeah.
which they have great products too. It's just
Yeah.
takes a long
Some
time
of them
to
are
get
good.
it.
Some of them are like, oh my God.
It's a long ways to get them here too.
Yeah, and it's a long ways. And the thing is that the more you can keep the stuff in a local area and feeding back into the local system, there is economy of scale. I mean,
Sure.
if there's a manufacturer in Wisconsin that can manufacture the carpet for half the price that somebody in California can do, well, who's going to be stupid enough to say, no, I want the California carpet because it's closer. It's like, and your point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, how do you guys feel about this particular business area? Has this, with everything going kind of, how's your business doing as far as what's going on in the business area?
Well, nothing ever gets handed to you. But
Yeah, that's true. No, you're sure about that?
keep waiting. But the Portland community is very accepting too, and I think are very globally minded, if you will, thinking towards going green as you can. That's kind of
Right.
almost that term's getting pretty washed out there. But
Yeah.
so we've been pretty well taken in by the Portland
Right.
community.
Well, that's good to see, because again, as there are businesses like home improvement that even in economic downturn times seem to do a bit better because people are not going out, so let's make the environment at home as nice as we possibly can. And so you're utilizing your dollars for increasing the livability of your environment as opposed to going out
Exactly.
and going on holidays and stuff
We've
like that.
seen a
So-
lot of that. The remodel market's pretty strong out there
Really?
still at this point. Not a lot of new construction these days, but
No?
a lot of remodeling, and that's kind of our forte too, is
Yeah.
custom remodels. So
Right. Now, do you guys get involved in, well, we have about 1 minute before we have to take a short break, but do you guys get involved in other things than floor remodeling? You said you came from a building background. Do you get into, actually the hammer and nails bit?
not so much. We have a lot of contacts of very good
Oh, okay.
contractors and guys that we do work with. So we work with a handful of general contractors, interior designers, and architects.
Right.
But we kind of stick to our core competency, which
Right.
is flooring.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's specialization can be good. I like it.
Exactly.
Well, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about all this lovely stuff down here that makes my mouth water. I love this kind of stuff. So we're going to take a short break, and we're going to go to a couple of videos for you. We have one from Adbusters up north of us in Vancouver, BC, and that's called Culture Jammers. It's why you shouldn't be watching TV. And then we're going to have We Call It Life, which is from the Competitive Enterprises Institute, which gives you a different view of the concept of ozone and global warming. And the last one is The Singing Revolution, which is a movie we're actually going to be bringing to Portland, so look for it soon. We're going to be doing some events called Politics and Beer, and Singing Revolution is going to be the first video that we show for those. So sit back and relax and enjoy these shorts, and we will be back.
Fascination, fetish, fragmentation, Why are 9 out of 10 women dissatisfied with some aspect of their own bodies? The beauty industry is the beast.
A 49-year-old unidentified man went berserk last night.
Where did she get her view of the world?
Shotgun. 14 people are dead, including 3
Who will be her role models?
Never been a better time to buy.
What values will she have? Whose child is she? Yours or the network's? Take back your children. Turn off the TV.
Burger, fries. There's never been a better time to buy.
Your living room is the factory. The product being manufactured is you.
There's burger, fries.
Here's the electricity we use at home. Al Gore uses 20 times as much. Mr. Gore's friends use lots of energy too. But Al Gore wants to cut our energy use, putting our jobs and our future in jeopardy. Mr. Gore's future, on the other hand, couldn't be brighter. We depend on reliable, affordable energy for our food, our transportation, our homes. It's the best protection we have against the hazards of life. And it's even more important to people elsewhere who are struggling to survive, to break out of the prison of poverty. For them, affordable energy is something to hope for and something to celebrate. But what will happen to that hope if we restrict energy use? Some people may have a bright future, but don't kid yourself. Without affordable energy, hundreds of millions of people won't have any future at all.
It was an extraordinary show of mass defiance in the Baltic region of the Soviet Union.
Whenever you give free speech to people, then things get out of hand.
All the strangers, they were just singing like one man.
If 20,000 people start to sing one song, then you just cannot shut them up. It's impossible.
I think that to have freedom through singing, it was the most important thing maybe in my life.
Welcome back to Freedom TV. I'm here with Sam Snow and Darius Shoemaker. with EcoFloors, and we're gonna dive into some flooring over here. Okay, let's pick up this one over here, and you can tell me what this is and where it comes from. Obviously, it's wood. This much I know.
Yeah, that's reclaimed wood.
Reclaimed, okay.
Out of the East Coast, so primarily from barns, bleachers, old tobacco mills.
Really?
Yeah, and when you get that wood, this company Carlisle, you actually get a blueprint of the building it came from.
Oh, how cool!
Yeah, and the beams that it was
Oh,
taken
how
from.
cool!
And so not only is it reusing material that would have otherwise been scrap, but it's really beautiful. It's hard to find wood like that.
I mean, it's full wood. And this one, what would this be? This particular wood?
That's a pine right there.
A pine?
Yeah.
And you can see distressing down here, but it looks cool. I mean, one nice thing is you don't have to worry about dropping anything on it. It's already distressed. And then this next one next to it, it's again, this is the same kind of.
Same company.
Same company.
Same similar story. It's reclaimed.
And I like it. I mean, to me, it just has more character when it's got all these bits and pieces in there. And
well said.
And it just looks like it's lived a little bit and says something that looks like you could eat off it.
Some of the pieces out of the tobacco barns actually have nail holes and tobacco stains on them still.
Oh gosh,
so
how cool!
Really cool.
That's cool.
If that's the look you're going for.
Excellent. Okay, and now this wood, this is heavy. Now what is it? Whoa.
That is very dense, isn't it?
This is dense. What is this? This is kind of interesting. I can't even identify any of these woods in here.
I'd be very impressed if you could, because there's so many different kinds of what would have been scrap wood.
And so they just put the pieces together.
Correct.
Oh, that's amazing. Look at that.
Pressed in high compression and heat into beams again.
Just
and they
like
cut the flooring
And then
out.
they cut the
It's
flooring
about
out.
20 kinds of different species of wood. And then
beautiful.
it's all, they use a VOC free, so no basically chemical free resin to hold it all together, and now it's a extremely hard and usable floor.
And it's got the classic tongue. Is this called tongue and groove?
Correct. Yep.
Tongue and groove look, but it's a lot heavier.
It's substantial.
Than normal wood. I mean, this is really full on, and it feels denser. It feels like it would take a lot of
very durable.
wear.
Yes.
It's comparable to like a Brazilian cherry, which is kind of a benchmark for a very hard wood.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then this one's cool. Now, you
Yes.
said this guy is local? This one's local?
Local out of McMinnville.
I like this. So you can if you're frustrated, you can tear up your floor and put it back together.
A giant puzzle for you.
Yeah, there you go. And but what's really neat is when it's all put together, you can't even see the little seams and stuff.
Correct.
And it's very cushy, and it's made out of tires.
Yep, out of tires.
That's
from
amazing.
Oregon too.
From
About
Oregon.
4 million is what they recycle every year.
Get those tires in there. Now, what's
Yeah.
the little little flicky bits in there?
That's just for color, for character in your floor, because rubber tires being all black, they add that, what you call a fleck. And you can do different amounts of it and different colors.
Oh,
so
really?
it doesn't have to just be black as in like a tire.
Yeah, it'd be kind of boring after
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah,
Now, how would you care for something like this? I mean, do you have to do anything with this?
It's pretty impervious to water, so I mean it can actually be, it's not glued down, it's a floating floor.
Oh, really?
So you can pull it up, hose them off, or you can just mop it in place. They have cleaners for the rubber in place as well.
And how does something like this wear? I mean, would you...
They use, that product there is used in anywhere from ski lodges, ice skating rinks where they walk off in their blades, to appliance businesses or a weight facility.
Wow.
So it takes some of the most tremendous foot traffic and wear that you can put on a floor.
This looks like it'd be good for like a kitchen. Could you use it?
You wouldn't break a dish per se.
Yeah, boing.
There is some.
Boink. Oh, look.
Some thinner rubber tiles too that they make that are really
more colors,
a little more designed for a kitchen.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
Yeah. Well, this would be so nice to walk on.
People love this here in Portland for their basements with all the water and rain throughout the winter here.
Water basements.
It doesn't
Oregon.
doesn't get hurt or disrupted by water, so
That's
it's a
excellent.
nice flooring application. Good for your kids to roll around on, without getting bumps and bruises.
Excellent, amazing.
Yep.
Oh, this is cool. And then if you want to pick up some of the marmoleum, you don't have my color here. We just redid our bathroom, and the color was just magic because you could do anything with it. And I love this stuff. Now, what is linoleum? What exactly is that stuff made out of?
It was invented in 1875
Really?
by a guy, Frederick Walton.
Okay.
It's natural components, like he said. It used to have asbestos in it. Also was a natural component, but now it's burlap, linseed, wood flour. You want to fill the rest in?
Yeah, vegetable dyes, all comprised onto the burlap, which is glued down with non-toxic.
And that's the burlap is on the
burlap
back.
backing. So that gets directly glued to the floor with a VOC-free glue. This is the only floor currently approved by the Allergy and Asthma Association.
Really? And then what I like is you can have it textured too.
Yeah,
that's really kind of cool.
What's that say? The crocodile?
Yeah.
Style, I believe.
I don't know. Crocodile floor. I don't know. But the other thing that I really like about marmoleum is when you drop things on it like I do, it's all the way through. The pattern's all the way through.
Homogeneous.
So, yeah,
right.
so if you chunk a bit out, you don't have this big. We've got pergo flooring in the kitchen, and probably not the best idea in the kitchen. And I've dropped a few things on it, and it chips out, and you see it. But with the marmoleum, the linoleum in the bathroom, you drop anything on it, nothing happens. It's just like chunk. Oh, well, not going to see that little divot. Who cares?
A lot of the vinyl products, which were really popular for a long time there, and now marmoleum's kind of taking over because it wears so much better. It doesn't have that thin layer.
And it feels nicer. It just feels nicer and has just a different feel when you look at it.
And you feel good about it. It's 100% natural.
Yeah,
one of the very few products out there.
I don't know. It just has a sense to it that just vinyl. I don't know. Vinyl just never.
Petroleum based too.
Well, no, I like Vaseline. I'm really into Vaseline. Now show us the ones on the end over there. What are those guys?
Oh yeah. So these are both cork floors.
Cork. Now that's a composite.
This is cork. This is designed to be a floating floor. So it's cork that's pressed onto a high-density fiber board, formaldehyde-free, with a cork backing on the back of it.
Oh my gosh!
So this is designed to just go directly over any flat floor that you have, as long as it's relatively.
And it would be a lot more cushy, actually.
It's very, very cushiony. Cork, it comes from mainly the Mediterranean area, Portugal and the Mediterranean region. It comes off the cork tree. And they use the bark. It doesn't harm the trees. They can take the bark off about every 8 years. They live for hundreds of years, exactly.
Oh, really? Amazing.
So cork, people really like it for a floor because it's antimicrobial. Bacteria and fungus doesn't grow on it. It's insect resistant, fire resistant.
Wow.
Anti-static, so very cleanable.
Excellent.
And then one of the best things, people really like the softness about it and the warmth.
And it looks like stone. It doesn't look like cork. That's amazing.
Very unique patterns and colors in the cork now.
Oh, it doesn't look like ground up wine corks anymore. It's you think of cork, I think of like cork board.
Exactly.
That's the only cork you can think of.
It's come a long ways.
And the carpets, you've got some samples there.
Yeah.
With
these carpets here I brought. These are both wool carpets.
Cool.
This one here, this is called the Colors of Sheep. So this is
Colors of Sheep.
Yeah, these.
Really,
it is
the Colors of Sheep.
This is undyed, unmoth-proofed wool.
Really. So this is, Ba on the floor. There you go.
Ba on the floor. Exactly.
That's
and
amazing. Nice colors. Very, very tasty.
Very amazing feel to the product too. All kinds of different wools out there.
Right, and these are
wools too.
These are, oh gosh, look at this, amazing. And these are, I'm used to seeing shags, but these are like little tufts, or
a loop style.
Loop style.
And just about every style you can imagine, you can get in wool carpet these days, which is
that's come a long way
yeah.
from the old days of carpets. That's really incredible. And how does this wear in comparison to things like nylon or the other synthetics?
It's one of the top ones, if not the premier. Nylon, as you just said, would be, I'd say, the second tier. Wool has so many great properties about it. It's just, we could do a whole show just on the amazing material of wool, of what it does, and actually being a natural dehumidifier for your house.
A dehumidifier, so
it'll retain up to 60% of your moisture in your house and release it. It'll also retain toxic gases and retain it in there and keep it in its halax strands for its life. So it'll grab those bad gases and keep it in there. Naturally fire retardant. I mean, it's just...
That's the neat thing I like about wool is it doesn't burn real well.
No, smolders.
It kind of smolders a bit, but It's not going to just and turn into toxic gases, whereas some of the other stuff.
Exactly.
What are some of the other things that they make carpets out of? I know there's wool and nylon.
Olefin, polypropylene. A lot of these are just...
Oh, polypropylene flooring. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, a lot of these are...
Get some nice rug burns.
Boom. Let's die when our house goes on fire.
They can have some toxicity to them, and then a little bit of odor when they're installed, and then usually their lifespan isn't near what a wool product would be either.
Really? That's amazing. Now, what's the cost difference between something like that and the wool? Is the wool much more expensive?
This is the good thing about the wool is all the other carpets are petroleum based, and so as our oil prices have shot up, so has carpet pricing.
Right.
And we do carry nylon carpets that are recyclable and recycled content, but we've been getting 15% increases every year on it.
Whoa.
Where the wool's been coming down, it's basically a commodity. And it's really come down in price a lot. So you can get in a wool carpet similar to what you can get a medium grade man-made carpet for.
Really?
And then they can go up very expensive too in some of the handmade ones.
Designer stuff. So it's like, how much a square foot?
Exactly. But yeah, it's not... pretty much anybody that can afford carpet could afford a wool carpet too.
Excellent. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to come back and people will be able to call in if they've got any questions for you. Great. And we can talk a little bit more about this business because I find it really interesting. And we're going to take a short break and we're going to go to a video for all of you who think that the health care bill was a really good idea. And oh, did I mention there is a chipping component in the bill. So do look out for that little guy. Now, we're going to see a story about something that happened in Canada, but coming to a healthcare facility near you. This is called A Short Course in Brain Surgery.
The Canadian province of Ontario has a population of more than 12.5 million. People there can spend their money on all the best things in life: food, wine, cars, homes, everything, except their own bodies. That's because private health care is outlawed in Ontario. Under their single-payer system, only the government can pay for medically necessary care. But that's okay, say some, because you shouldn't have to worry about money when you need health care. And that makes single-payer systems more compassionate and caring than the partial free market system in the United States. So how compassionate and caring are single-payer healthcare systems?
They don't care how long you wait, you'll get to you sooner or later. But it's free. It's free.
Lindsay McCreath, a retired body shop owner from Newmarket, Ontario, began having headaches and had a seizure in January of 2006. Both he and his doctor suspected a possible brain tumor. He needed an MRI fast. How long was the wait?
4 months before we could get our first MRI here in Ontario.
The McCreaths wanted to pay to get an MRI rather than wait 4 months for the government to provide one. However, Ontario Minister of Health George Smitherman is a staunch defender of a single-payer healthcare system and won't allow private payment for medical services. So in their hour of desperation, the McCreaths called private medical broker Rick Baker.
Bear in mind, if you have a suspected brain tumor, it's really important you find out if in fact you do have a brain tumor, and beyond that it's very important to find out if it's malignant or if it's benign. They were waiting 4.5 months to get this an MRI. Came to us on the 2nd of February of 06. On the 3rd of February they were down in Buffalo. They got an MRI which indeed showed that Lindsay had a brain tumor.
He had a mass in his brain that was the size of a golf ball.
He came back to Canada with his MRI in his hand, went to see his family doctor. He was given a May the 27th date to see a neurosurgeon. Now, this is back on the 3rd of February.
I was angry at the waiting of 3 months.
He didn't want to wait till May the 27th, knowing he had a tumor.
So I got on the phone to Timely Medical, Mr. Rick Baker again.
Once again, we went back to Buffalo.
The surgery was scheduled for within a week's time. Our GP said go.
Lindsay McCreath got his brain surgery in the U.S. The results of the biopsy? Cancer. Luckily, a well-contained grade 2 astrocytoma tumor.
If that had been a class 4, astrocytoma tumor, he would not have made it. He would not have lasted 8 months. He would have, in all likelihood, have died. We compressed the whole process from the MRI to the consultation to the biopsy to the surgery in 4.5 weeks. Lindsay's doctor, family doctor of 35 years, Dr. McGee, estimated he might have waited as long as 8 months.
My father passed away a few months before this happened, so we happened to have the money there. But if we hadn't, I would have put a mortgage on a home to go for the surgery across the border rather than wait 6-8 months, which is ridiculous when your life is threatened. You're desperate. You don't know where to turn. You need help and you can't find it anywhere. He found help for us.
Mr. McCreath wants to get his money back. It cost him $28,000. He made an application to the government. He was turned down flat. They said, no, we can't give you your money back. You didn't ask us for permission to leave the country to have your surgery. He knew that the permission process often takes as long as getting the surgery in Canada to begin with, which has been estimated at 8 months. We're going to make an appeal and then an appeal of the appeal. We are putting the government of Ontario on notice that if they do not look favorably on Mr. McCreath's application for a repayment of his $28,000, we are going to take this as far as we have to get justice for our client, even if it means a Supreme Court lawsuit.
In 2005, physician Jacques Chauly and patient George Zeliotis challenged Quebec's ban on private health insurance. Their lawsuit went all the way to the Canadian Supreme Court, and they won. Mr. Baker's lawsuit against Ontario on behalf of the McCreaths may also fare well in the courts. Isn't it ironic that while the Canadian government's monopoly on health care is slowly crumbling in the face of widespread suffering, liberal Democrats in the U.S. are pushing to adopt a system much like the one that has failed so miserably in Canada?
Now, I understand that there is a movement afoot in the U.S. by in certain circles to try and duplicate the Canadian system in the U.S., trying to adopt a single payer system in the U.S. Then where will I send my clients? I'll have nowhere to send my clients. Your hospitals will be backed up. You people will be waiting 2 and 3 years for surgeries. I'll have nowhere to send Canadians.
Welcome back. We're here at Freedom TV with Echo Floors. And I understand you guys would like to say a thank you to a couple of special people. On the floor. There you go.
I'd like to thank our staff for sticking with us. A couple key people be Justin Kane and Aaron Harper.
Excellent.
Been very helpful in getting us to where we've gotten.
Yeah, and I can imagine. Talk to me a little bit about the business of, a lot of times people don't understand when you're starting out a business just exactly what you go through. So describe some of the stuff that you guys went through in the first couple years of doing this sort of thing.
You got another hour?
Yeah. Yeah, really.
You can do everything, but you can't, or you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And so, yeah, we got torn on where to spend our time and who does what and setting the whole thing up. There's so much behind the scenes.
Right. It's not just going out and bunging floors down.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. You know,
It's,
bring it in, go out, bung it down. Well, what you guys don't really have all that much to do you? See all the stuff behind the scenes, like the paperwork that nobody knows about and the compliances. Do you guys have a lot of regulations you have to comply with?
Couple of contractual through like the CCB, different things along that lines. But
what's the CCB?
The contractor board here in Oregon.
Okay.
There are a couple different different kind of forms and whatnot, but not too much legal stuff goes into flooring things.
So does the city mandate any sort of requisites, like you must have flooring that is this many inches from this area over here and stuff like that?
There's definitely code in new construction. A lot of it, most of that's set in the framing and a lot of the stuff that goes on before we come in.
Right.
But we definitely deal with the city with our business license and our signage, and there's a lot of.
And don't put a sign on the sidewalk.
We already got in trouble for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And your sign is it's 1 inch too big, and we just can't have that sort of thing. You know?
So we paid the fee, and we got to keep our sign.
Oh, I see. In other words, you pay the fee, and then you get to keep your sign. Oh, okay, I got it. That's kind of how the city works. So we do have a chance now. If you have any questions for Darius or Sam about flooring or how it all works, just call us in now, and we can have a chat about that. Now, when you guys do this, how long does it take to do like a tear out? Say you go into a place that has a one of those vinyl floor things that you got to rip it out before you put anything else down. How long would it take to do, say, an average kitchen like the one we saw here?
That kitchen that we saw earlier in the photo, that did take 3 days due to the preparation.
Right.
Prep is pretty much one of the most important part of getting a floor to look good. So that one had quite a bit of prep. So it was about a day and a half of prepping and then a day and a half of installing the floor. So on average, pretty much 2 days.
2 days, yeah.
Yeah, different kinds of applications can go in 1 day.
Right.
On average, 2.
Yeah, so we're not talking about a long-term project here.
Rarely we in someone's house.
Now, I have a question for you. We just have a little over 3 minutes. The one thing that I was wondering about is those horrible tiles that everybody has on their kitchen floor that are glued down with the glue from hell.
Yep.
It's like, it's not moving. How do you get that stuff up?
2 different ways. One, pretty much industry standards mechanically get it up. So that means a strong back.
Oh my God.
And a strong will.
I was really hoping there was another one. Oh, it looks like we have a call. Do you have a question for our guest today?
Yes. Yes, I do. We have some oak floors, and I'm wondering, they have gotten very squeaky over time, and I was wondering if there's any flooring that could be put over to reduce the squeakiness, or if it does need to be replaced, can you recycle the oak flooring?
9 times out of 10, if the oak is in good shape, definitely recyclable. Fixing squeaks is one where you can do that from the top of the floor or the bottom of the floor, and it's not really an exact science. It's kind of looking at the construction and your floor joists. But there are floors that could go over the top, such as carpeting or a cork that would help reduce some of the squeaks, but that's kind of a situational a question on the squeaks, I think.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. And squeaks come with wood, right?
They do, and they come with time.
They come with time. So they, particularly with this particular wood, the one that's the composite, would it have less of a problem of like shrinkage and that contracting that happens with wood floors over long 20, 30, 40 years?
Yeah. A lot of the engineered products that are out there these days, or strand woven product, it takes a lot of that solid, the natural movement of the wood out because it's not a solid product anymore.
Yeah, because this doesn't even feel like wood. This feels like,
steel.
Iron.
Yeah. Believe it or not, though, it still will expand and contract a little bit.
It will expand and contract. That's amazing. This kind of wooding, are they looking at making furniture out of it?
It looks like furniture.
I mean, yeah, to me it's like, whoa, cool.
Yeah. I haven't seen any yet, but I'm sure somebody's probably doing it. It's really gaining popularity.
Like having furniture made out of iron, but
you wouldn't want to move
a small table, But it just has a wonderful feel to it. It's really amazing. Now, care of something like we have a little bit over a minute. So, that's all I've got. Oh my gosh! I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
And I love hearing about what people are doing entrepreneurially to increase the number of businesses and the kinds of businesses that we have here. So thank you very much.
Thanks. It was our pleasure.
Thank you. And I want to thank you. We just have 1 minute. I just wanted to say my thank yous both to our viewers and to the crew that helped put this show together over 2 years. A fantastic group of people that without them there is no way on this little green earth or brown earth that I could have ever done this show without you. And I really want to appreciate and thank each and every person who is both with us now and in the past who's been on the show. And hopefully you'll get to see reruns of the show in the future. So do look for us, but do look in the future to other things that we'll be doing. So until we come back, this is Renee Kimball for Freedom TV. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you again. Bye.
Yeah, Renee, I never, you know, in all my travels, I don't think I've ever met a hippie Republican before.
Hey, it's been great. We had a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed it, and I'd like to keep doing it if we could.
I'd like to say thank you very much. It's been quite an exercise, and I really like the way you host. I like the way that you keep things flowing, and you're really good with us also.
Sorry this is coming to an end for now, and thank you for the opportunity to be a part of it.
Renee, thank you so much. I've learned more on this show about everything, not to mention precision and politics, than probably any other show here at PCM.
Okay, Renee, I just want to say thank you so much for taking me under your wing and inviting me into your FTV extended family. I've had a great time, and I've learned a lot through the variety of your programs, and I just appreciate you and the crew so much.
Thanks a lot, Renee. It's been fun. It's been professional and fun. Been impressed.
Well, it's been a great show. It's been a pleasure working with you. It's a pleasure working on the show, and I hope the break is a short one.
Hi, Renee. Thanks so much for this opportunity. It's been great fun doing the show, and I gained a lot of experience, and I'm glad I could help you with it and do it again.
Hi, Renee. Thanks for letting me be part of Freedom TV. When we turn off the lights, park the camera, and strike the set, the television might be gone from the room, but the feeling of community stays on in the heart. Thanks.
I cry for my country, for the pain that it's been through. She's been made to suffer for the profit of a few. Storm clouds are forming, winds of change now touch our shores. Our hear forefathers are crying as the dream's been cruised. America, I show my love for thee with strength and loyalty. America, I show